Right now at 5, Trimet making changes to some of its routes as it fills a major budget deficit. How riders will be affected. Plus, a former circus performer now suing Cirque du Soleil for millions in Multnomah County Court. The concerns she raised before a mid-performance fall. And later on, cutting the ribbon on a first-of-its-kind training facility where members of the Portland Thorns and Fire will now be getting ready for future games. Our top story here at 5, for the thousands who use Trimet, tomorrow's trip could look very different. Changes to dozens of bus routes, including 2 being cut completely, plus a shortening of the Max Green Line route, all go into effect. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm John Adams. Our Jake Holter has the details for us live from the Gateway Transit Center in Northeast Portland. Jake?
Well, John, if you're someone who takes the Green Line to get into downtown Portland, tomorrow that will no longer be the case. You will have to come here to Gateway and transfer to the red or blue lines amidst these changes and those busing changes as well. That's all part of these Trimet cuts amid budget constraints.
It was a lifesaver for a lot of people.
Bus line 82 in South Gresham will cease to run starting Sunday, August 23rd. And one rider we spoke to isn't happy. How does losing 82 impact you?
A lot, because it's one of my many ways to get to work and home. I now have to take a new route.
This as part of fresh service cuts at Trimet. Bus 153 in Lake Oswego will also be eliminated. Those 2 lines, Trimet says, were chosen because of low ridership. But the rider we spoke with says it was crucial for some people.
82 is one of the main routes some Amazon workers get off of. 82 is one of the many that came in 2 minutes early, or just in case you miss one bus, it came in just in time to get you on home in time.
Dozens more bus routes will be modified, affecting thousands, as well as the Max Green Line, which sees more than 10,000 rides a day.
Trimet chose to reduce the Green Line on the section that parallels our red and blue lines. It's to reduce duplication. This is what our riders asked us to do, and the Green Line is an obvious example of where that type of strategy could be effective in saving Trimet money.
Saving money has become a focus for Trimet, leading to their plan to reduce service at least 10% by 2028. All part of a plan to close a $158 million deficit. Average operating costs increased by about 56% between 2019 and 2025, while Trimet says revenue growth failed to keep pace. And service cuts aren't the only way they're trying to manage the deficit.
We've also gone through a historic staffing reduction, and we've made significant internal cuts.
170 positions so far as of July 1st.
We understand that we can't cut our way out of this financial situation. We are in search of long-term sustainable funding.
The Bus Line 82 rider we spoke with says she believes there's an obvious answer: stricter fare enforcement.
But there's some people out there just ruin it because they don't pay for fares.
In the meantime, Trimet officials say changes are posted on their website and people who are affected can use the Trimet trip planner to find new routes. And Trimet plans to propose additional service changes later this fall that will take effect next year. John?
All right, we will be watching for those additional changes. Our Jake Holter live tonight. Jake, thanks so much. Well, new here at 5, one person is dead and another in custody in Southwest Washington following a domestic violence investigation turned manhunt with multiple police agencies involved. Just before 10 last night, Longview officers were called to a mobile home in a park on Mount Solo Road. They found the victim dead from multiple gunshot wounds with children in the home. With the help of other departments, 24-year-old Josiah Carr was found and arrested a few hours later. The children were returned to their families unharmed. In Portland, officers arrest a man for stabbing and killing another man in the Hazelwood neighborhood. It all happened around 2 this morning along Southeast 102nd Avenue. Officers found the victim near 102nd and Pine. They were taken to the hospital but died of their injuries. Officers found the suspect north of the scene on East Burnside and arrested him about half an hour after the stabbing. And a developing story out of Forest Grove. Police are investigating a person's death after first responders noticed suspicious circumstances surrounding a car fire. Now, this started just before 1 this afternoon on Northwest Otis Lane off Hillsdale Road. Forest Grove Fire and Rescue was called to a report of a house fire when crews were flagged about the car fire. They then turned the scene over to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, which plans to release more information at some point. Well, a former Cirque du Soleil performer has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the entertainment company. The acrobat fell while performing in Portland 2 years ago. Alma McCarty has details from the newly filed court documents and a warning one of the photos may be considered graphic to some of our viewers.
Before joining Cirque du Soleil, Maria Konfektova had 8 years of experience as an aerial hoop artist. Part of the Kuza production, she brought those talents to Portland. But on August 24th, 2024, while elevated 15 feet above a circular stage, her foot slipped and she lost her grip, plunging to the ground. According to court documents, there was no safety mat, safety net, or other form of fall protection to brace her fall. Pictures provided by her attorney showing her hospital stay and the severity of her injuries: a fractured skull, wrist, lower back, and facial bones, 11 in all. OSHA, finding a lack of proper safety systems during their investigation, fined the traveling circus company $8,000 several months after the incident. According to the lawsuit, Cirque du Soleil told OSHA that 20 feet was the height limit at which they start requiring fall safety protections. Konfektova's aerial hoop act was set at 15 feet. Her lawsuit, filed this week in Multnomah County, alleges her former employer was negligent for not providing fall protection. She's seeking more than $16 million. KGW reached out to the company for comment. A spokesperson said they are aware of the reports, but do not comment on legal matters. Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Well, turning now to weather, another weekend filled with morning clouds and sunny skies by the afternoon. Definitely on the cooler side for late August. Feels really nice out there. But later next week, we're going to be getting back to that August heat. Let's check in now with meteorologist Joe Ranieri with a first look at our forecast. Feels great out there today, Joe.
It feels nice, and I think some people are looking forward to what comes next month. And I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but there's a gal I live with that had the fire on this morning and candles burning. I'm not ready for that. And don't do that until after my birthday, which is a week from tomorrow, if you're keeping track. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's been a lovely start to the weekend. Morning clouds, and those clouds never really lifted along the Oregon coast. Here's a live look now from our Chinook Winds casino camera over along the central Oregon coast, sitting at the low 60s, winds picking up a little bit. But we should be still warm for this time of year, and it's more pleasant than anything else. Temperatures for your daytime highs were in the mid to the upper 70s earlier this afternoon. Along the coast, Tillamook 68 degrees, and the more east you go along I-84 Hood River, temperature of 77 degrees. Looking into tomorrow, we'll be waking up to morning clouds, a slight chance to see some light drizzle, and then we'll get back into sunny skies and warm conditions. The fire danger will remain high throughout the east side of the state. Red flag warning until late tonight. Breezy conditions, low relative humidity, and there's also thunderstorms bubbling up throughout the east side of the state. We're not going to be impacted here along the coast and the valley, but I do have good news if you like some heat. I'll talk more about that in my detailed forecast, John.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Well, in the latest wildfire headlines, officials in Estacada held a community meeting at the high school today to discuss wildfires in the area. In particular, the Austin fire, which is only 7% contained after burning nearly 5,000 acres. The focus today is protecting transmission lines threatened by that fire. We're also tracking the Narrows fire, which is 0% contained and has burned nearly 200 acres. Well, in other news, the ribbon was cut this morning on a first-of-its-kind training facility that will host the Portland Fire and the Portland Thorns. Raj Sports, owner of both franchises, first announced the plans for the 100,000-square-foot performance center in Hillsboro last year. The facility includes 2 full-size soccer pitches and an outdoor training zone, a 17,000-square-foot practice gym with 2 full-size basketball courts, a 5,000-square-foot strength and performance center with an outdoor turf training space and yoga and Pilates studios. Players will also be able to eat at a full-service dining room that will include a chef and a nutritionist.
Every inch of this facility was designed with purpose and intention, taking into account performance, nutrition, recovery, longevity, and overall well-being of our players. Each detail is a reflection of our belief that our athletes deserve the best of what's possible when we invest and support women's sports.
Well, the campus there was previously the site of a Nike office complex. Raj Sports also says it hopes the site becomes the global epicenter of women's sports. Well, a group of volunteers in St. John's got their hands dirty this morning. They spent hours sprucing up the playground at James John Elementary School. This revitalization, led by the group D-Pave, has been ongoing in phases for 15 years now. Today, the focus was helping maintain what's already been added, including planters that attract pollinators and also provide a backstop for soccer balls in the area. Volunteers also added a fresh coat of paint to the playground, while others spread out fresh bark dust to keep the space cooler.
We have families who are coming out who are playing on the playground. We have soccer lessons happening behind me. We have volunteers from D-Pave, and we have families and parents who are coming out who go to this school to help spread this mulch and make this space a more welcoming, friendly, greener space for our kids.
We've seen up to, several degree change on the hottest day of the year at D-Pave sites, from before when it's just that blacktop that reflects that heat, to after when we have shaded areas and we have tree coverage that provides those cooling surfaces.
The groups involved are not only aiming to clean up the space, but also add more trees and plants to provide shade and help manage stormwater overflows. D-Pave says they hope to bring in several larger trees for the playground by the end of the year.